we're covering a very specific portion of lore that I have not seen spoken about on any forum or detailed within anybody else's video. How does a Chaos Warband come to not only being accepted by, but even donning the colours of the Black Legion? As it turns out, the Black Legion very much likes to become involved personally when judging a Brother Astartes' worthiness to join. We know for a fact that the Black Legion is the largest, most organised Chaos Legion bar none, but for any of you remotely familiar with the Despoiler's temperament, you'll no doubt be aware Abaddon, ironically, brooks no failure. Even his closest friends, those such as Iskandar Khayan, or even the thing still called Falkus Kyber, know full well the agonising torment failure translates to when a trusted member of Abaddon's inner circle displease him. And so it makes sense that prior to warbands becoming accepted into the fold, before they are recognised as one of Abaddon's own, they must first prove their prowess in battle, and ultimately their unswerving loyalty to Ezekiel Abaddon over that of their own gene line. For those of you who've been asking for book references to our lore, I've extracted this from A More Perfect Union, a short story which can be found within the Galaxy of Horrors anthology, but perhaps more interesting is the fact that Xantine, the story's main character, is the main antagonist of the soon-to-be-released next installment of Renegades, titled Lord of Excess. Sadly, it doesn't appear this follows on from Harrowmaster, but I'm at least hoping for a cameo or Easter egg of some kind. Throughout this video, we'll also exhibit how some of the Marines spoken about can be represented as models in 40k. A bit of a twist I hope you'll enjoy. Akin to packs of wild animals, United Chaos fleets tend to nurse more powerful vessels belonging to the Lord's own warband within their formation centre, concentric circles or pockets of united craft existing as a cordon around these more, perhaps you could say, favoured vessels. The true process of gaining favour within the Black Legion evolves in a similar way. A Chaos Lord or particularly enigmatic individual at the head of smaller warbands will often begin their career in the Black Legion, serving the Despoiler's vision on a much smaller scale, compared to those who have been inducted to wear the black and gold of Abaddon's own. As we were privy to within A More Perfect Union, the Emperor's Children Lord commanding Xantine and his brother's loyalty eagerly desired to be a true member of the Black Legion. It seemed up until this point the Warband had thrown in their lot with the Children of Torment, a formation within the Black Legion dedicated to the worship of Slaanesh. However, Xantine's Lord craved true power to become one with the Black Legion proper, and so took on a mission at the behest of a member of Abaddon's own chosen retinue. I won't spoil for you how the story ends, but there is a significant amount of lore we can extract from this story to garner a more in-depth understanding of how warbands within the Black Legion operate and are recognised. For those who are unaware, though the Black Legion can be considered a force of chaos undivided, Chaos Corrupted Astartes are all individuals, many champions of hundreds, even thousands of battles. Each traitor Astartes travels upon their own path to glory concerning the wider pantheon, with some dedicating their souls to one of the four, whilst others attempt to balance the true, raw power of the warp, never devoting themselves to one particular deity. But even so, within the Black Legion still, the worship of a single deity is completely acceptable. Individuals or entire warbands joining the ranks of one of the larger, god-devoted formations. For Slaanesh, this is the Children of Torment. For Khorne, the Hounds of Abaddon. Nurgle, the Bringers of Decay. And finally, Tzeentch, the Sons of the Cyclops. But as we see in this short story, it seems these god-devoted warbands, and in fact any whose power armour is not purely black and gold, are not considered Black Legion proper, not the inner core of the power, as it were. Now, as we continue with more lore, we're going to mix in some of my own kit-bashing efforts, showing how lore such as this can be represented on the tabletop. Within my own World Eater's army, one of the senior officers also wishes to join the Black Legion, and so delegates from the Hounds of Abaddon have been dispatched to judge their worthiness. Here we have the leader of this delegation, but let's continue with our lore. The warband Xantine belonged to did in fact wear the Black Legion's black and gold, however they still maintained patches of pinks, purples and even pearlescent hues, with only the Black Legion's delegates maintaining solely black with gold trim. This is the very same mix of palette which is present in art concerning the Children of Torment. The other god devotee warbands often mixing their armor's colours too, such as the Hound's red helmets or shoulder pauldrons. Now within the same novel, Xantine's lord, Euphoros, states Abaddon is the clear power in the galaxy, but there is bad blood between the Emperor's children and Abaddon personally. For when Abaddon first founded the Black Legion during the latter years of the Legion Wars, he destroyed Canticle City, the Emperor's children's main operating base within the Eye, and by doing so, decimated the Third, even irrevocably breaking their organization as a legion. And whilst it's been long millennia since that event, many Emperor's children still despise the Despoiler for his actions, such as some of those under Euphoros' command. It is this type of grudge and countless others that must be managed within a galaxy-wide organization such as the Black Legion, and so to be granted true membership for a warband to paint their armor in the pure black of the Despoiler's own. Not only must a prospective warband earn trust through many campaigns, proving they are not mere hedonistic pleasure seekers or frothing madmen, but also that they are capable of maintaining organised military operational conduct, as well as being capable of fulfilling orders without question, and returning alive. This is about trust and capability. Within this particular novel, when Xantine's warband are dispatched to capture a prized artifact for the Despoiler, there is a show of force made by the Black Legion on Euphoros' own flagship. For as the Lord sits upon his dais, announcing his aspirations to the assembled Astartes, he introduces their Black Legion counterparts, a single chosen of Abaddon in command of that subsector, strolling onto Euphoros' dais to stand at the top, next to the Lord. 11 other members of the Black Legion, present also, chosen by Euphoros himself from the Black Legion's ranks, to accompany his own warband into battle. The leader of this small Black Legion host was actually a previous member of the Emperor's children, until quite some time prior to the destruction of Canticle City, so he's been in the Black Legion for a very long while. But whilst this individual's armour is pure black and gold, showing his acceptance into the Legion proper, he still maintains some eccentricities of the Third, such as elaborate plumage mounted on the top of his pure black helm, consisting of tan skin, exotic feathers, as well as dyed hair. And even within this small coterie of Black Legionnaires, there were several gene lineages present, the Third obviously, but also World Eaters, and even the rarer Sons of Horus. For my Black Legion leader, I wanted to display the fact he was once a World Eater himself, before defecting to the Black Legion, so it was important to display both his new master, but also his overriding loyalty to the Blood God. To achieve this, I utilised a berserker head with ritual scarring of Khorne's emblem, armed him with weapons akin to his erstwhile legion, again bearing the mark of his deity, but we all know Astartes bear their loyalties upon their shoulder pauldrons, and luckily, the mainstay of this model, the chosen squad leader, came with lots of Black Legion bits. And so his left pauldron is marked with his new loyalties, the Black Legion symbol, which is the Eye of Horus and 8-pointed star, whilst his right bears the mark of Khorne, rather than any squad chevron. Now, we've firmly established that loyalty, capability, and even time are required to become one of the Black Legion's inner circle. But it bears noting that, depending on the Chaos Astartes judging you, joining Abaddon's flock can also be considered defecting from your legion. Of course, the opinions and even care factor of traitor Marines vary wildly between one another. Ultimately, however, there are countless traitor warbands consisting of a motley assortment of Astartes belonging to various gene lines. Even the great host of the Nurgle sorcerer, Darovek, employed Marines unafflicted by Nurgle's rot within its ranks, an Iron Warrior belonging to Darovek's warband, facing off against Kion in single combat in ADB's Black Legion novels. Now, unfortunately, we don't experience Xantine and his brothers becoming fully inducted into the Black Legion's numbers proper, even though that would have been awesome to read about. But we do read about Abaddon's conquering and consequent absorption of traitor warbands within ADB's novels. You see, Abaddon's power is based on ideals, the tenets of brotherhood, transhuman superiority, and ultimately, death to the false emperor. And whilst many opposing warbands find common ground, some need to be pushed into making the correct decision. Therefore, especially in the latter days of the Legion Wars, the Black Legion would force traitor Astartes to comply and join, or die. In this way, numbers were bolstered, with trusted members of the Legion ensuring any dissension was addressed both abruptly and firmly. Here my squad leader and banner bearer have been completed, ready to be painted in our upcoming 30-hour no-sleep painting challenge, where we'll attempt to stay awake and paint an entire 2,000 point army. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe so you're alerted when the video comes out. Otherwise, if you want to jump on the Discord and hobby together while we do the challenge, simply join the following link in the description of this video, and I'll give you updates on when we're going to do it. To our Warlord Titan Patreon Nelson, thank you for your support. And if you'd like to support us through our Patreon, this link is also in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, take it easy and have a good one.